Hi, and welcome to British Dad Reacts. My name is John. Thank you for watching. And if you do like this kind of content, then please consider leaving a like, subscribing, leave a comment or a recommendation. This track is one of the, I think, defining songs of the 80s by one of the bands that I think defined some of the 80s. Age of Consent, New Order. Now, somebody's put the audio over this video, so it doesn't always quite sync. But it is the band in their early stages. Now, this track was the first track on the 1983 album, Power, Corruption and Lies. And it's really the album that I think was the first real New Order album, in that it was different from Movement, which was their official first album, but was really a hangover from the Joy Division days. Now, I've done a number of videos on Joy Division and New Order. I'll talk about that a little bit at the end. I'm also going to show a live version from Glastonbury. And to see them play it live, and you'll hear it, the way it just hits you in the head, it gives you a feeling of what it was like to see a New Order in those early days. And the first time I ever saw them was 1985. this really is such an incredible track. And before I get to the live version, which I have to say, I was in two minds whether to actually start with the live version and then show this version or the other way around. But the live version, I think, just be prepared because, well, you'll hear it in a second. Now, this track, as I say, I saw them at Salford University, which is just next to kind of Manchester, in 1985, and they played this track as part of the set list. And I was fortunate because it was a track that they dropped from their set list for many, many years and didn't really play it. And like with a lot of New Order things, nobody ever knew why or what was going on and so forth. But it was such an influential period for them with Blue Monday, Power, Corruption and Lies. The whole thing seemed to come together for them, really. Now we'll go to the live version and then I'll tell you a little bit more about the album itself. This was them live in Glastonbury in 1987.
Thank you. This is to warm you up for that long, cold night you've got ahead of you.
They hurt me so. I'm not the kind who needs to tell you just what you want me to. I'm not the kind who needs to tell you just what you want me to. Saw you this morning, I thought that you might like to know. Message you a few days ago. I understood every word that it said. Now that I actually heard it, you're gonna regret. And I'm not the kind who needs to tell you just what you want me to. I'm not the kind who needs to tell you just what you want me to.
I love that in those early days with a lot of their tracks, there was this real passion in Barney's voice, Bernard Sumner being the lead singer. And obviously with, Stephen Morris on the drums, like just a tornado, controlled tornado of drums. And Peter Hook's guitar just driving everything along. Gillian Gilbert obviously on keyboards, kind of keeping it all together as well. Now, as I said, I've reviewed a number of their tracks because for me this is the band that I think really I've seen them the most. I've got most of their music. I've listened to them and still listen to them the most. But in terms of the videos, and the links to both these videos will be in the description. But I've also covered, and I'll put the links in the description, I've covered Ceremony with the Joy Division New Order version. I've covered Temptation by New Order, Blue Monday. I give a long history on Blue Monday of the different tracks that actually came together to form Blue Monday. And that, if you are interested, is a really in-depth analysis of that. I went back with Joy Division and covered some of their early stuff when they were still kind of Warsaw Joy Division with tracks like At a Later Date. I've covered Isolation, Digital and Atmosphere. Now, the one thing I wanted to just say is about the album cover for Power, Corruption and Lies. Now, Peter Saville was the designer for the band at the time. and he has some iconic album covers, this being one of them. And the album became almost famous for this album. It didn't say the name of the album on the cover or even on the back. It didn't even say the name of the band, but you knew it was New Order. Now, it's actually a reproduction of a painting that's in the National Exhibition Gallery in London, and it's a basket of roses by Henri Fantin-Latour, French artist. And there is this wonderful story of first of all, they got refused permission to use the artwork, and then apparently Tony Wilson, who was the manager at the time, called the National Gallery in London where it was on exhibition, and he spoke to the gallery director and he asked who owned the painting. And the gallery director said the National Heritage Trust, and that trust belonged to the people. To which Tony Wilson replied, "I believe the people want it." And the answer then from the gallery director was, "If you put it like that, Mr. Wilson, I'm sure we can make an exception." It's an iconic album cover that was even made into a stamp in Great Britain, and a copy of that stamp, I think, hangs in the National Gallery even today. Now, it's also a track that's been covered by many bands, as great tracks always are. One of the notable ones, I think, which was a very unique take on it, and always, I think, for New Order fans, that when bands cover their tracks, it's kind of like, is it just a straight copy? Are they trying to emulate them? Arcade Fire did it slightly differently and did a very slow, kind of soulful, meaningful version of this track. But for me, the original, every time you hear the opening bass line, it just says, Age of Consent, New Order. So if you do like this kind of content, as I said, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, leave a comment or a recommendation. Thank you so much for watching.